happy 4th of July to all my American viewers. Don't know how many viewers I have outside of America, so... But today, or actually it's not today, it's been over the past couple of weeks that something's been happening. If you don't know, I've been using Filmora, a editing software that's published through Wondershare. If you've been watching sponsored videos, you may have seen this. I've been using Filmora to edit my videos, and I've been using it since roughly 2022 when I first started WASDeck Gaming and Sparkfield Gaming. But something has happened. It has started just having an absolute fit when I even try and alter webcam footage. Specifically, if you know anything about my videos, you'll know that the webcam usually lives up here at roughly 30% the size of everything else. Used to be 26.62%. Yes, I remember that number specifically. Don't know why. But whenever I would try and take it from up here to everything, Filmora just can't handle it. It refuses to play it in the little display screen over here somewhere. It refuses to export it, to the point where even videos where the full screen, like right now, where that doesn't happen until partway through the video, it will not export past 2%. If you don't know what exporting in video software is, that is when it saves and renders the video so that you can put it on other things. It has to basically watch the entire video and then put it on your computer. Filmora cannot do that if your webcam is full-sized, at least on my computer. I'm not smart enough to figure out why this is or why it does that. All I know is, if that's how it's going to be, I cannot use it. I know you could say, well, Spark, why not just not make your webcam full-size? And you know what? That is an adequate fix. But even still, it's starting to happen to videos where that isn't the case. And let us not forget that every single one of my videos, with the sole exception of Terraria Episode 1, starts and ends with this, a full-screen webcam clip. And when I start by dragging the footage from the pool of clips to the timeline, and it's full-sized, and then I make it 30% size you usually see, and then undo that, if Filmora can't handle that, it shouldn't be doing anything regarding videos. I suppose I could wait until Filmora 15 comes out, or a new patch, but there have been several new patches that have come out, and all of them have focused on their AI garbage. None of them have focused on fixing this problem. Now, I think this might have something to do with the fact that I've been using Filmora to record webcam while I've been using OBS to record game footage, and I know what you're going to say. Spark, why not just use OBS to do both? Well, it works something like this. Say this hand model is a clip. Say this is a separate clip outside of the footage. Because it's currently being recorded in OBS, the computer can't tell the difference between this clip and everything else. It cannot tell that this hand model is its own clip, and thus bakes it into the footage from OBS. Which is why I stopped doing that. There was a time where I made things small. Okay, apparently I can't do that while recording in OBS, but I would have my game footage be like in this part of the screen right here, and the webcam up here while recording in OBS, and then kind of clip them down, or crop them down. But that caused a lower video resolution. You may have seen in some of my older videos how everything looks like a goddamn bowl of mashed potatoes. That's why. Then I heard about this thing called Source Record, where it records every source, like audio, visual. If you know what OBS is, it's basically everything in your sources window right here. God, I am having such a hard time figuring this out. It records every source as its own file, which is nice, but it didn't work the way it was supposed to on my computer. Again, I don't know if I was just too stupid to get it to work right, or what. But the fact is, since roughly the start of my grounded playthrough on Sparkfield Gaming, I have used OBS to record gaming footage and Filmora to record webcam footage. Now this came with its own set of problems. One, syncing. Time syncing has always been a difficulty, but I got it down to a science. The other problem is Filmora's recording software optimization, in spite of being one of their old marketing campaigns, is absolute dog shit. A recent video I did with Moggy Mike, Terraria episode 11, had a runtime of 2 hours and 54 minutes and some odd seconds. The game footage was around I think, 11 gigabytes, but the webcam was a monstrous 111 gigabytes. That is 1/10 the storage size on my goddamn computer. 1/10. So, while I am happy to not be using Filmora anymore, it does mean that my videos will start looking different. It also means that this month is going to be a complete mess in terms of videos. This is because I don't currently have the funding to buy the full version of the editing software I'm being forced to use. As a result, I don't know what the caveat of using the free version is. There might be a big butt ugly watermark like there was with Filmora, and if there is, I'll probably just bite the bullet and get the full version anyway. I've heavily considered going back to what I used back when I was doing videos on MLG Bro Gaming and Brodicus 3.14, and that was VideoPad. But VideoPad is the kind of thing where you only use it until you realize you have no idea what you're doing, and you upgrade to something better. Now you might suggest, why not Adobe Acrobat? Because I don't want to have to pay $100 every month just to use it. Furthermore, I've seen enough jokes about Adobe to know that this thing is about as temperamental as anything else Microsoft has put out. I don't know if Microsoft... Excuse me. I don't know if Microsoft owns Adobe, but what I do know is I don't want to deal with it. So, what am I using now is the question. Well, day before yesterday, I attempted to use the Microsoft default software, Clipchamp. Go ahead. Laugh. I know. Again, going back to the most recent episode of Terraria, which I'm not getting rid of, is going to be going up, at least as of this recording. It took 14 goddamned hours just to take the webcam footage, which I might remind you is over 100 gigabytes in size, and put it in Clipchamp. Clipchamp my ass. That is worse than Filmora. Because Filmora, you can click a button, it'll open up your file explorer, you take a clip, no matter how big, and you put it in Filmora. It's nearly instantaneous compared to the 14 hours it took to get that webcam footage into Clipchamp. Not happening. Then, like the disturbingly accurate magical genie Google insists on being, it started playing ads for various video editing softwares. Two of them have caught my eye, one of which being PowerDirect 365 by Cyberlink, and then something other called Pinnacle. I went with Cyberlink currently, and I even tried to record this video in Cyberlink, but for whatever baffling reason, PowerDirect just can't seem to record a webcam video in anything other than 15 frames a goddamn second. So, yeah. This is where things stand. I don't know what I'm going to do. I really don't. This is the problem with being a YouTuber. 9 times out of 10, you are at the mercy of whatever random bullshit companies make you deal with. YouTube and their idiotic attempts at copyright enforcement and content filtering, Filmora and whatever they think passes for optimization, Adobe and their pricing. It's ridiculous. If I had any sense in computer science, I might try to make my own video software. But the fact remains, I don't know. The future of my channels are currently uncertain. I would really like to continue playing games and recording and editing them for you. But if I can't edit because editing softwares refuse to be just that, an editing software, there's nothing I can do. I don't think I'm going to have to stop. Worst comes to worst, I'll just go back to VideoPad. That was a one-time purchase. It was a mediocre excuse for an editing software, but it worked. It was the most... I was just about to say it was the most stable software I was using, but I'm not sure it was. I'm not sure if it was the fact that the computer I was using was crap and wasn't designed for editing, or if it was actually VideoPad that was the issue. Regardless, that's where things stand. I currently have the free version of PowerDirect 365, and I want to get the paid version so I can use it to the best of my abilities. I just don't know what the future of this channel holds. So if things look different, if things look weird, if anything changes, at least you know what happened. I did manage to salvage some clips from Filmora, and I think I might even still continue using Filmora if I hadn't uninstalled it. Specifically for when I get around to making an audiobook. Because you may remember a couple of years ago when I released a book. I hope you don't remember that. I ended up pulling it from digital store shelves shortly after, and as a result, I am redoing it. I think this is technically it's the 5th draft. The first, there are at least 3 drafts that never made it to paper, so technically it's the 8th. Jesus H. Christ on a bike. But yeah, that's basically it. I really want to get Terraria out. I love playing Terraria with Mike. It's fun. I have other videos, like my brother and his friend Jonah and I are attempting to do a 100 days challenge in the forest. I know, I've tried to play the forest several times now. Leave me alone. And I have another turbo dismount video on the way. So, just a lot of stuff on the horizon that I don't know if I'll even be able to get it out to you because Filmora is a fucking bitch. Hi, I'm Spark. I don't know what I was going for with that. Aside from that, yeah, not much more to say. I haven't forgotten about Penny's Big Breakaway. I haven't forgotten about A Hat in Time Revisited. Just haven't played those in a while. So, there's not much more to say. Thank you all for watching. I hope you did enjoy. Hope you left here a little bit more informed. Honestly, I don't think my channel is big enough to where I really need to make videos like this. But I feel keeping the very few viewers who do watch my videos on a regular basis deserve to know what's going on. So, thank you for watching. If you did watch all the way to the end, give yourself a hand, I guess. Here, if you don't have here's a hand. Sorry. Don't ask me why I have a hand. I don't know. But, yeah. You all have a good day, night, whatever time of day it is when you're watching. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. And I know I haven't been looking at the camera at all. Leave me alone.